Thank you so much. And I'm now going to just take a moment, and you can take a moment to just do fear melters or whatever. For those of you who'd like to stay for our exploration of our integrity card today, we're going to be looking at the wonderful world of responsibility here. So I want to say a couple of things about responsibility. One is that hardly anybody in the world understands what responsibility is, truly being able to respond. And that many people have responsibility deeply confused with blame and burden. Now, notice we started to talk about an integrity card. So, what happened to your loop of awareness? So, here's an opportunity for you to just simply keep shifting. So like you can shift your attention to looking at somebody in their screen and giving them a little appreciation and then coming back to you. Because when we start talking about content, the tendency is to forget your body. So I want to invite you, when you remember, to just simply shift your attention the other direction. And I'm going to take a little drink of water. Mm. I drank this entire thing this morning because I'm here more in the desert, and I woke up feeling like, so I'm like a sponge. I'm getting more rehydrated now. So when you think of responsibility, what I used to think of is, first of all, uh-oh. When someone would say, like my mother would say, who's responsible for this? And everybody would go, uh-oh, so whose fault? So that's one of the big misunderstandings. But the other one is, who's going to, would somebody please set the table? So responsibility as burden. And somebody would say, okay, I will. So let yourself take on the body posture of your old understanding of responsibility. So mine was a combination of having like a yoke across my shoulders with a finger pointed, like, I'll carry this, but it's your fault. So it's a combination of blame and burden. So notice what your old understanding of responsibility is, because it keeps us from genuinely reclaiming our creativity. I really think of taking responsibility now as reclaiming my creativity, because what I'm creating, I'm choosing to do, that's creating what's happening, but I'm basically doing that unconsciously. So we think of responsibility, we forget the responsibility is actually my ability to respond. So reacting, the reactive brain is the fear brain, the defensive brain, the brain that says, how come he doesn't do anything? How come I have to do everything? Yeah. so, so that's going to come up. So when you're looking at responsibility, I really invite you to use your fear melters liberally, to use your loop of awareness to open up space for you to unwind the old sense of responsibility. So the concept that I want to share with you today has to do with 100% responsibility, because the drama triangle of the hero, victim, and villain involves taking more than or less than 100% responsibility. So let's try this on at a body level. I'd like you to take on the body posture of your victim. And I'd like you to really exaggerate it. When you're in victim, I'd like you to look what happens for me is I compress myself and I sort of lose access to my arms. I sort of fold my arms and they become kind of noodly. And I sigh. Notice what sounds come with your victim. So Are you taking more than or less than 100% responsibility when you're in victim? So just assess that for yourself. Okay, now take a moment to shake that off, or sumo that off, or ooze that. Ah. And then I'd like you to take on your favorite blame move. Mine is a kind of chin forward followed by the finger. Yeah, so exaggerate yours. And then I'd like you to ask yourself, are you taking more than or less than 100% responsibility? So for me, this is what one of our friends called getting over into somebody's grill, getting up in somebody's grill. So I find that villain is more than 100% responsibility. I'm over there messing in your stuff, and so you don't have an opportunity to take responsibility. Now, hero is a little bit trickier, but I'd love for you to take on your posture, your exaggerated posture of your hero. So mine is definitely, I got it. I got it. I got it. I got no problem. I got it. Yeah. Yeah. Like when I fell off my bike and broke my hip, he came over and said to me, are you okay? And I said, I'm fine. Then I couldn't stand up. So notice as you're doing this, and just keep doing this. Now imagine doing this 24/7. Are you taking more than or less than 100% responsibility? Yeah, so take a moment, shaking that off. So here's what I find is that responsibility is not a place. Responsibility is really your actions. And so each time you're thinking about taking responsibility, you have the opportunity to respond. You have the opportunity to respond differently. So people think of, well, I'm going to get to 100% responsibility and then I'll just be in 100% responsibility. But what I find is that life keeps presenting me with the next lesson. Like, how can you expand your ability to respond? And this one has a lot to do with other people. And I'm sure I know, like, think of couples where one person has the C problem. They have the control problem, and they'll monitor the other one. And I remember one of my mothers, and she'd look at my father and she'd say, Bob, are you going to eat all that? So which of the responsibility moves is that? Is that the hero, the villain, or the victim? I'm sure she thought she was the hero. So let's take a look now at the card for today, and have Michelle bring that up for us. And this is one of my favorites. So one of the things that just came to me, I want to share with you is that when I began to really learn how to take responsibility, I realized it would bring for me a burst of joy. When I connect it up, it's a weaving process. When I connect, oh, that happened, and that has to do with that choice, and I can make a different choice. Oh, there was this sense of, kind of inner celebration, but also I'm connecting more synapses, so I'm getting smarter. So you can keep getting smarter your whole life by taking responsibility. So I want to ask the question first, how can my presence inspire others to take 100% responsibility? So with everything we've been doing today of the loop of awareness and love scoops and circulating our attention, we're really much more permeable and available for other people to step in and respond and co-create. So how can my presence inspire others to take 100% responsibility. So notice it doesn't say, how can my instructions, or how can my questions, or how can my demands really inspire others to take 100% responsibility? So I find this a very opening kind of a question. If you ask that, and then you let yourself simply look at the collage, and then notice, how are you receiving both the question and the picture in your body? How are you receiving that? That can open up just the wondering, because what responsibility really is moving from blame to wonder. So here's the statement: I demonstrate. So I don't teach, I demonstrate, I model 100% responsibility through my choices by committing and recommitting to responsive creativity. Ooh, that is such a juicy one. So it's got both committing and recommitting, because what I have found over years and years, and I imagine you will too, is that the moment I commit to something, I get a lesson. And it allows me to go, okay, now in this one, am I willing now to move from blaming to wonder? I recommit now to demonstrating 100% responsibility. You know, it was like one of our students, who was studying Buddhism, went home to her family, who were pretty much fundamentalist Christian. And she noticed that when she would try and tell them about Buddhism, they were not interested at all. But when she acted from Buddhism, when she demonstrated kindness and presence, that they were much more interested. So this is an invitation for you this week to commit, to recommit, and to wonder your way into expanding your ability to respond, which my sense is a lifelong journey. So thank you so much for being with us today. And I'm going to take my leave now and leave you to chat with each other, or to hear more about the reweaving course that we're going to be doing in June, that I'm very excited about, which is going to be more of exploration of the integrity skills. So thank you, and see you next time. Bye now.
Bye, Katie.
Mwah. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.